Hello there everybody, and welcome to part 2 of what is the minimum score to beat Sonic Mania. I already went over pretty much everything in part 1, so if you haven't seen it already, make sure that you go watch that. You pretty much have to if you want to understand this video. I'm not going to be going over things that I've already said in the first part again, and I'm just going to act like this is a direct continuation of the video, so make sure that you go watch part 1. I'm going to assume that you have, and with that, let's get into the video. In Studiopolis' Zone, there were bumpers that every time you hit them, they gave you 10 points each, and they were placed everywhere and were very annoying to navigate around. There's a similar issue in Mirage Saloon Zone because of all these piñatas and glass thingies that give you 10 points every time you bounce off of them. In Mirage Saloon 1, I was fairly certain that there were multiple parts where you had to hit these piñatas or glass thingies, so I just started randomly doing partner clips everywhere in hopes that I would avoid them. It's very useful to hold down your partner with spin dashes, as discussed in the last part, and then do the partner clips and just kind of go through the level. It's pretty difficult because of all the piñata and glass thingies, but after randomly partner clipping everywhere, you can eventually get to the boss. Mirage Saloon 2 is very difficult for the exact same reasons, the piñatas and glass thingies. It's very annoying, and there's even more in Mirage Saloon 2. Even more so than with a lot of the other levels, you have to take a very specific route to get through Mirage Saloon 2 to avoid all of these piñatas. There's this one part here that's very difficult because you have to hold down your partner with a spin dash and then very carefully fly through this section in order to continue with the level. This is just one example picked out of many in the level. We would be here forever if I showed every single piñata that was an issue here. Enemies in Mirage Saloon 2 are also pretty difficult to dodge. These flying guys just kind of fly right into you while you're jumping. Overall, the level is just very difficult, but you can get to the boss, not before being kicked in the balls by this piñata that is hidden in the sand and you have to very carefully fly over. Thank you, Sega. There's a boss skip in Mirage Saloon 2, and unlike the other boss skips, this one is pretty self-explanatory. In Encore mode, your partner pretty much just mirrors the exact motions that you do, so if you start a spin dash, they'll start a spin dash, no matter where they are. Your partner also can't trigger the Mirage Saloon 2 boss, so right here there's this barrel that makes you fall down into the boss arena. All you have to do is line it up so that your partner falls down there without you going down too. Although your partner is off screen, you can ensure that they are facing to the right by pressing right, start doing a spin dash, and then jump with precise timing, and they'll do the exact same thing off screen and hopefully land on the capsule. Once your partner hits the capsule and teleports back to you, it tries to start the cutscene where you walk into the gun that shoots you to Oil Ocean Zone, but because you're not in the right position, you just keep walking to the right into these piano keys. I don't know, I thought it was funny. You have to press enter to continue, you can just skip the cutscene. Moving into Oil Ocean Zone, it's actually not that difficult. Oil Ocean 1 isn't too hard. It does have a lot of enemies that are difficult to avoid, like these octopus guys, but you can just spin dash under them most of the time. But that won't stop Ray from randomly jumping into them because apparently that's just what he does no matter how much I tell him to stop. Oil Ocean 1 boss is pretty easy. Moving into Oil Ocean 2, it's just annoying as ever. Not only do we have the enemies from the previous act that are kind of annoying to deal with, but also it has this stupid Standopolis gimmick where you have to make sure that you pull on the levers so you don't lose your rings. But apart from that, there isn't anything that's really too difficult in Oil Ocean 2. There is a boss skip, and it's actually very similar to the Press Garden 2 boss skip, except that it's a lot easier. In Press Garden Zone 2, there was a trigger that locks the y-axis of the screen so that you can't fly over the boss skip, and we had to skip that trigger as well, but in Oil Ocean Zone, there isn't one of those. So all you have to do is go to the edge here, hold down Ray with a spin dash, and then fly over the boss trigger, land at the capsule, and then beat Oil Ocean Zone 2. While this boss skip is easy, it does have some weird effects on Lava Reef Zone that I'm going to get into. I'm not really sure why, but for some reason, doing the Oil Ocean 2 boss skip starts Lava Reef Zone thinking you haven't finished the level yet. So the timer isn't going and the music isn't playing at all, which is really weird. And obviously we need the timer to be going so that we can finish the level with over 6 minutes. Lucky for us, there is a way to revert this. All you have to do is take a death and it will start you back at the latest checkpoint with the timer rolling. Now I didn't really want to kill off Ray or Tails because I figured it would be a hassle to get them back. So about halfway through the level, there's a life monitor that I grabbed and I happened to get Sonic, and then I just went to the closest place that I could die. I did it, and then the timer started rolling and I still had Ray and Tails. The level itself is about average difficulty. These little steam cloud shooting guys are very annoying because they can kill you in just one hit. I don't know why, but these dinosaur enemies are kind of difficult to avoid too. Not only did Ray run into them, but so did I, so I can kind of relate to him here, I guess. Lava Reef 1 boss is completely normal, and we can move into Lava Reef 2. If you've ever played Sonic Mania, you'll know that Lava Reef 2 has a lot of annoying enemies, and it has even more of those guys that shoot out the steam clouds. You can just damage boost through them most of the time, but sometimes you do have to take an entirely different path to get past the enemies. Although the routing is difficult, you can get through it, get to Heavy Rider, take him out, and move into Metallic Madness Zone. Both acts in Metallic Madness Zone actually have boss skips, so we shouldn't be getting any points in this zone. Metallic Madness 1 has a pretty precise path until you get to the area where you do the boss skip. It's one of the easiest ones. All you have to do is a partner clip here, go on top of the ceiling, and then basically just run to the signpost. On the contrary, the Metallic Madness Zone Act 2 boss skip is the most difficult for this run. How it's usually done is that you get to this specific part of the level, and then you have to time a partner clip perfectly with Ray so that you get into this wall. You need to do some precise button inputs here to position yourself correctly, and then jump until you're being hit by this spring repeatedly. In the top right of the screen, you'll see this big bomb enemy walking left and right. There is a 4-frame window for you to see him in a specific spot and then jump during that 4-frame window. What will happen is that he will shoot out these explosions, and then one of them will hit you out of this spring area. And this actually puts you into the no collision mode from Studiopolis 1 and Hydrodro City Zone 1. From there, you just have to run back to the start of the level, glide off the left side of the screen, and hit the capsule at the end of the level after doing the screen wrap. But for this run, it isn't that simple. In the level around the area you need to be for the clip, there is a checkpoint right next to it, which makes it really convenient for restarting and trying again once you fail. But we can't actually restart at this checkpoint, because every time you do, all the rings in the level respawn. Obviously, we have to finish the level without any rings so that we don't get the end of level bonus, and after we go into the no collision mode, there isn't any way for us to lose rings, so we have to make sure that we don't collect any. But after going into no collision mode, there are rings in the path back to the start of the level that you or your partner will inevitably collect. So the strategy for this would be to restart from the very beginning of the level, take the top route that you used to get back to the start of the level after you do the glitch, collect all of the rings in that path, go back to the start of the level, go through the path that you would usually take to get to the part where you set up for the clip, get hit, lose all of those rings, hope that your partner doesn't kill any enemies along the way, hope that you can do the glitch setup to go into no collision mode exactly right first try, take the path back to the start of the level, which now doesn't have any rings on it because you already collected them, hope that your partner doesn't kill any enemies along the way back, glide off the left side of the screen, and do the rest of the glitch. While this strat is tedious, it is the only real way to do this, and it is possible. After flying off the left side of the screen, you'll find yourself on top of the level. You want to start walking to the right until the ceiling ends. That's where the boss arena is. So what you want to do here is pause the game and then walk to the right. Yeah, I know, it's super weird. When you're in the no collision mode, you can actually still move around while the game is paused. And while the game is paused, the camera doesn't pan over to the boss, so the boss can't be triggered. So you want to pause the game and then start holding down right, and Ray will move off to the right, which is where the end of level capsule is. Once you've walked past the boss trigger, you want to unpause the game, the camera will skip the boss and pan over to you, and then you need to call your partner to you, they will land on the capsule, and that is Metallic Madness Zone done without having any points collected. That was definitely not only the hardest, but the strangest boss skip in this run. So after grinding that level out for a couple of hours, Titanic Monarch Zone is actually kind of a refresher. Yeah, Titanic Monarch Zone is actually one of the easiest levels in the game, especially Act 2. Act 1 is just a usual stage with the usual Ray killing enemies all the time. Here I take the same shortcut in the level that I do in my no left or right challenge video. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but it helped me shave off time, and I think that there might be some unavoidable enemies if you don't do it. Either way, Titanic Monarch 1 is a pretty standard level that you can get through, beat the boss, and move into the final level of the game, Titanic Monarch Zone 2. This zone just has a crap ton of partner clips that you can do in it, and most of them are really easy. I pretty much just followed the speedrun route, which lets you skip pretty much the entire level. Like, all you have to do is know where to start the partner clip, and then you can just keep jumping, and then eventually you end up reaching the portal that skips the entire section. Like, it's actually kind of amazing how easy this level is once you know where to partner clip and stuff. After totally cheesing our way through all the 4 sections, the middle portal opens up. We jump in and fight the final boss. And I know that the final boss is supposed to be like a climactic point, but for this challenge, it's just like the normal fight pretty much. So, after the grueling challenge of the definitely extremely difficult final boss, we can collect our 1,000 points from beating it, and finished the game with a total of 15,020 points. Our final point total absolutely crushed the theoretical minimum that I presented at the start of part 1. It is almost half of what I originally projected, so I would definitely consider that a success in my book. Once again, I don't think there's any way that this run can be optimized at this point except for maybe Studiopolis 1, so if anybody out there finds any way to optimize it, let me know. Once again, thanks to Joey. I can't stress this enough. He is an absolute madman. Go watch his world record run of Sonic Mania, follow him on Twitch, and do all that stuff that you do when you like a content creator. Speaking of things that you should do when you like a content creator, I'm sorry man, the transition was too good to pass up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because now apparently that's the subscribe button. Liking the video also helps out a lot, and if you are interested, make sure that you go check out my other Sonic Mania challenge videos while you wait for the next one. For the future, I think I'm going to be moving my way up the Sonic games, so I think that this is the final classic Sonic challenge that I'm going to be doing for a while. I think it's time that I jump into the Sega Saturn and see what challenges that has to offer, or rather, don't jump if you're catching my drift. And with that, I would like to thank you all so much for watching. See ya in the next video. I hope you enjoyed.